you may have seen Mike Israetel, Dr. Mike, posting about this better than steroids. And these are, do you know what myostatin is?
I've heard, yes, I've heard about that with like, and it's the super jacked like Argentinian cows are
Yeah,
full
yeah.
of myostatins, right?
Yeah, my Belgian Blue, and there's Wendy the Whippet. I we had a podcast with my chief science officer, Grant Tinsley, who was telling us about Wendy Whippet, the Whippet, the dog that had their myostatin turned off, and it was just jacked dog. You can see the jacked cows as well, but they genetically block their myostatin, so there are drugs that are their monoclonal antibodies that basically go and block our myostatin, and people do gain muscle. They don't have to do anything. They just start gaining muscle and losing fat. Sounds like the holy grail. I always urge caution again, because like you don't know what some sort of offshoot effect of doing this in humans could have.
Have they done it in humans yet?
Yeah, they've been doing it. They're in so what they're doing with these drugs is they're putting them with these GLP-1 medicines. And so one of the phase 2 studies with a very well-known myostatin inhibitor called bimagrumab is coming out here in 2 weeks. It's at this ADA conference. I'll be watching closely what happens, but they combine it with semaglutide, which is the Ozempic Wegovy drug, this bimagrumab, and so people are waiting. Like I always urge caution, where it's like, man, when you start messing around with muscle, you don't know what other muscles and other receptors are going to happen with these drugs.
Right. Okay. So like that's my first question. Like, because the heart is a muscle, and this is like I have an enlarged heart because I was so large for so long. And it's not something that they're excuse me, terrifically worried about. But when I do EKGs and all the heart tests and stress tests and all of that, the thing I'm told is my heart is enlarged.
Yeah.
Um, that is simply because I was carrying around so much excess weight from so long, I'm told. Um, but then it's also a factor with bodybuilders, right? And so, like, isn't that like, or people that do growth hormone, like everything grows. You're not just building your pecs.
Yeah. So the hopefully that it's skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle is a little bit different, smooth muscle like our intestines a little bit different, but there may be some of these myostatin receptors in these places. I don't know what to expect. I do know that there was one that I just reported on where it's trevogrumab. It's another myostatin inhibitor, and then they added it with this garetosmab, which is an activin A. Doesn't matter and then they put it with semaglutide, the Ozempic, Wegovy stuff. The people with all triple therapy, 2 people died, and they don't think they're like, oh, it's not the drug, it's not the drug, but it's like, they're like, we can't say it's the drug cause and effect, so we'll see if that actually gets through. But this is why we do these phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, because you'll start seeing the signals of like, ooh, there's some harm going on here, or hey, it looks good, and then you keep going and you do these cardiovascular event trials where you go like, all right, let's just put everybody on this drug versus a placebo, and let's see what happens to heart attacks and strokes. That's what they've done that with these GLP-1 receptor agonists, and that's where it's like, wow, these drugs, the biggest side effects are like reduced heart attacks and
Right.
strokes and stuff like that. When they start adding these drugs,